the arts. And welcome to those of you who are here in person and those of you who are working from home. Also, welcome to those of you who, sorry about that. It's about the connection with my laptop. It's a horrible noise. I thought that problem had been rectified, but obviously not. Those of you who are with us live on YouTube, welcome to you as well. We are in the final class for December, and my theme for this month, as it's been evolving, is art as gift, or the gift of art. And my gift to you today is an artist named Clara Peters, Peeters. And she's from a long time ago. She was born in 1607. She is another Flemish still life painter born in Antwerp, who worked in both the Spanish Netherlands and the Dutch Republic. Now, her still lifes are different from the ones we've been looking at up until this point. It's one of the reasons why I've chosen her, and also because of the fact that she's a woman. So she came up in the art world at a time when women had a very, very hard time becoming working artists and making a living being artists. So she was a trailblazer in her own right at the time that she was doing her work. I am going to share a slideshow with you about her work. We can discuss her work, and then I'm going to talk about your options for the art that you can create today. Just a quick mention, this is the last Art with Liz class for 2024. We will be meeting again in 2025. So I look forward to working with all of you in the new year. But this is our final class for 2024. Next week's going to be Christmas. Oh, wait, I just realized I'm not quite ready to share yet. So we're going to stop the share and open up the slideshow. Hang in there momentarily. The slideshow will open and then I can share. There we go. Everyone recovered from the horrible noise, I hope. Folks at home, can you see the slideshow? Excellent. So Clara Peters, it might be pronounced Peters for all I know. So those of you who speak the Flemish language, oh dear. We seem to have lost the picture, folks. Can you see it, folks at home? I can see it on my computer, but not on the screen. Okay, I'm going to try and stop the share, everyone, because we're not where we should be. Oh, okay, here we go. Is that the first one? It must be. Okay, so she's the best known Flemish artist of this period of history, one of the few women artists working professionally in 17th century Europe. They were restricted access to what were called the guilds. So the guilds were kind of like unions, but they were for the top people in the professions in the Netherlands at that time. So for women to get into these guilds was extremely difficult, and that's why women were restricted from joining, and that's why it was hard for them to make a living doing their art. But she managed, and she did specialize in these still life paintings. Food was her specialty. This obviously is a painting of flowers. It does look similar to the paintings we were looking at last week, but wait, we're going to keep looking at her work, and I think you're going to see immediately what the differences are. She was most famous for what this article calls quote unquote breakfast pieces, scenes of food and simple vessels, and also banquet pieces with expensive cups and vessels in precious metals. She liked shiny objects, again, which seems to be very popular with artists of this particular period of art history. She likes that very dark background. All right, so now you're seeing her very special particular style. Notice the sausages, the breads, the shiny goblet. Okay, no, I think it's the connection on my left. I'm absolutely positive. The cheeses. There's obviously a lot of detail in her work. And that's the key to making her still life so realistic. Now, personally, I like her work much more than the artist we looked at last week because of the fact that she's doing more of these everyday kind of what I would call down to earth kitchen table objects. So I relate more to the kind of homey, I guess homey would be the descriptor that I would use, homey looking objects. And they're kind of used looking, even though some of them are shiny. They obviously have been well loved and used by the family who owns them. Breads, cheeses, sausages. It looks like maybe it's wine in the cup and the jug next to it. This one's famous. You've probably seen this one before. Details of her life are unclear. It's generally agreed by scholars that her work points to her being a native of Antwerp. The city of Antwerp's archives hold a record of a Clara Peters, daughter of Jan Peters, baptized on May 15th, 1594, in the church of St. Walburga in Antwerp. A second document shows a marriage between a Clara Peters and Henricus Jussen on the 31st of May, 1639, in the same church. However, both Clara and especially Peters were common names in Antwerp, so they're not particularly sure if that were she. A baptism in 1594 would imply that her 1607 dated paintings were kind of impossible. Well, they were done when she was 12 or 13, so those early works are cast in doubt. So some people say that possibly she was born in the 1580s, not the early 1600s. But she was established in Amsterdam by 1611, and it has been documented that she was in The Hague by 1617. It is a possibility that she stopped painting after getting married, because the number of copies of her work started dropping off. Some speculate that she may have headed a small school of artists at that time. So there's not much known about her, unfortunately. Now, to me, this image is a little creepy as well. I think, I don't know, there's something about death in this picture for me. I guess it's the dead fish, the fact that the cat is eating one of the fish. It has that kind of dark, morose quality to it.
The cat looks mad.
Very angry. I agree, Lindsay. But again, I like the objects in this painting. It loses its desire for prettiness, I guess because there are no flowers. It's more about daily life, and I like that. How many people like this picture? All right, interesting. Who does not like this picture? And can you tell us why? Anybody at home have a reaction to this painting? Stephanie, is this Stephanie? Go ahead. You have your,
I think it's the dead fish.
okay.
I mean, it's painted beautifully, but it's a little depressing.
I agree, and yet I like it. I understand why you don't, however. Beautiful highlights. The darks and lights are very rich and beautiful in this. More fish and an artichoke, 2 artichokes. I love the details in the colander that holds the artichokes in the back and the slotted spoon, the beautiful highlights on the candlestick and the sides of the fish, and the crabs. Look at the detail on the crabs in the bottom left-hand corner. Say it again, Eileen. I missed.
Painting, but nobody's kitchen would look like that.
Nowadays, no. I mean, we don't normally have whole fish laying around in our kitchen. Right, if you're lucky enough to know a fisherman, or, well, now we have a fish store in Hoboken where you can buy whole fish, but usually you would ask to have it filleted before you brought it home. Yes. So remember, she loves the fall of light on metal objects. You can really see her interest in that. In this painting, she really has spent a lot of time on doing that. She was especially fascinated by coins and goblets, pewter dishes. I actually brought in some pewter for our still life here today, which I will point out to those of you who are here to look at. Her darks are amazing, as well as the bright highlights. I think this is another one of her more famous paintings. This could be the still life with pretzel. Because doesn't that look like a heart-shaped pretzel in the middle of the plate? But again, we looked at Janet Fish yesterday in our Tuesday class. She's another one who loves this whole reflection thing and highlights on shiny objects. Beautifully done. I don't know what those little white shapes on the plate are. I have no idea what they are. maybe little shells. They might be a food item, but I don't know what they would be. Something encrusted with salt or sugar. They're so very white. There seems to be a fly on the white tabletop next to the water glass at the back. The picture is a little blurry, so it's hard to tell. And a long stem of, is it rosemary? Susan says yes. Thank you, Susan. You are now our herbal expert. So look at her treatment of flowers in this, very different. She seems to have distorted the shape of the flowers. And even though the flowers are so very, very detailed, she seems way more interested to me in the highlights in the basket underneath, which the detail in the basket is incredible. This one feels a little creepy to me too. I'm not sure why. It has for me a creep factor.
Don't like the black background.
No, I do actually. I like that contrast between the dark and the light, but I don't know.
I think the flowers look like they're dying.
Some of them definitely do. And those of you who are here, the still life that I set up today, they're the same flowers we had here last Wednesday. And I brought them because they are on their last legs, and they are honoring Clara Peters. She likes busy images. She likes lots of stuff. So those of you at home, if you don't want to use the picture that Laura has sent, when you set up your own personal still life, try and put lots of different things. And again, shiny things or things that reflect light are her specialité. There's a lot going on in this picture. It's literally a feast for the eyes. Again, fruit and vegetables are her thing. It does, doesn't it? And look at the size of that lobster. That's one mama of a lobster. Look at how she deals with fabric too. Very, very beautiful. Yes. And again, it's got that womanly, homey feeling to it. So she's definitely got a female point of view towards what she wants to paint and the way she paints it.
Liz, on the left is a big crab.
Definitely another giant crustacean.
The crab and top.
And above it, there's, I think, the yellow shape that's very digitized. I think it's a smaller crab, maybe a different species of crab. I love the eggs in the bottom right, all different speckled eggs.
Wow.
I mean, these artists really knew how to capture detail, these Flemish still life painters. It's extraordinary how they could capture realism through detail. Look at,
Liz,
yes,
I like the way that she has her highlights. but then
absolutely.
She focuses right into the center with the highest highlight.
Yes.
And then the little squirrel in the composition.
Mm-hmm.
The squirrel looks big.
From me viewing it, my eye bounces to all the different areas of where the light is.
Yes, so she definitely in her composition and all of her composition uses light to make us look from one part of the painting to another. So John, that's a great comment. So we bounce kind of from the pear in the bottom left to the apples in the middle, over to the squirrel's face in the upper right of the picture.
Viewing this piece of work, for me, my eye constantly moves.
Yes, from place to place. I love the tiny white highlight in the base of the stand of the fruit dish. It's pretty extraordinary. This one little white rectangle here in the black base of the fruit stand. You can see there's a doorway or a window reflected there. It's pretty cool. It's that kind of attention to detail that helps work look realistic.
And then the highlight on the plate where the lobster is on the right.
Yes, around the inner edge of the plate. It's very beautiful. Laura, just alerting you to the fact that there's someone who's unidentified looking to enter. Okay, so I'm gonna whip through these quickly now. I think this may be the final. Again, the flowers do look like they're dying and drooping. Look at the little mouse. This may be my favorite.
Apple.
I don't know, it looks like a tuna fish sandwich
Yeah.
on the bottom left, but I doubt if they had tuna fish back in the 1600s. I don't know, maybe it's lobster salad. Yes, look at the olives. Amazing.
And then
The embroidery on the tablecloth, just so beautiful. Yes,
Vase in the back of that.
vase or pitcher in the background. She's got all the little grooves in the clay, and the lattice work on the top of the pie. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's the last one. All right. Any comments before I close out the slideshow?
I apologize. What is your name again?
Her name is Clara Peters, Peeters. So again, her paintings of fish, game, and wildlife are way ahead of her time. She was cutting edge. Not only the fact that she painted things that were unusual in the art world at that time, but also the fact that she was a female and she was making a living at her job. All right, no more comments. So I'm going to stop the share. And our choices for today. Our choices for today are, number one, I'm going to put a picture of Clara Peters on the screen. You are welcome to copy her work. As always, I believe copying an artist's work is a great way to learn. Number two, if you are in-house here at the library, I offer the still life that I created for you to copy. You can copy a part of it, or if you like, from where the view you are sitting, you can do the whole thing. If you don't like the side that you're looking at, you can move to another table and look at another side of the still life. Those of you at home, I don't know if I'm mentioning this twice, forgive me, but Laura has sent you a photograph of the still life that I made here. You can work from that. Any questions?
No, but Lauren is the phone that is unidentified. Just want to let you know. Lauren,
Oh, okay.
okay?
Thank you, Margot, for letting us know. And I think Laura will now let her in.
What
She-
media are we to use?
Aha, that I was about to tell you. Thank you for the segue, Susan. I encourage you to use paint today. Those of you who are here, if you prefer using dry medium, there are regular pencils and soft pastels. Those are your, oh, and there are also very fine point micron markers.
Thank you.
And there's acrylic and watercolor paint. Questions? I was toying with the idea of making everyone do blind contour, but I'm not going to torture you with today. I recommend though, if you're feeling a little nervous or anxious about doing this project, all of you at home or here, I think you're all veteran students of mine, warm up with some blind contour. I have no paper plates for the acrylic paint, but you can take paper. Please don't use the watercolor paper for your palette, but you can fold up the drawing paper and use that as your palette. We have a whole hour and 15 minutes in which to do this project. So please feel free to go ahead and begin. Those of you who are here, I want you to notice I put vegetables. There are potatoes and onions, and I brought in some future things. Notice the highlights. So the technique, let me stand by the computer so folks at home can hear me too. The technique for doing highlights is to do, and this is counterintuitive, but you want to do your dark areas on the object first, and you leave the white light highlights white on your paper, and you work around the shapes of the highlights. And you come back and do them last. You can do it while the paint is still wet, but those of you who are not feeling confident today, or you are, I don't know, not having a good hair day, I would wait till the edges around the darker areas of the object are a little bit dry before you work on highlighted sections. Does that help? At any time, those of you who are at home or here, if you need assistance, please let me know. Those of you on YouTube, I'm not quite sure how to communicate with you. I will be walking around the classroom here now, giving advice to folks. Those of you on Zoom, you can always talk to me through the chat, or you can call my name. Do it loud, because you know I'm hearing challenged. Clara Peters, let us recognize and celebrate her on our final class for 2024. Woohoo! Hard to believe. And I would prefer with the still life you do a chunk of it, not just one flower. So I have to put it in. Thank you for reminding. Picture on the wall. Who's the fairest of them Oops, I forgot to silence my phone. Um, well, let's take a straw poll. People at home, do you want me to put the photograph of the still life here up or a Clara Peters image?
Good morning. Laura was kind enough to send us the still life, a photo of it. So perhaps a Clara Peters?
Okay, that makes sense to me too. Then you have a choice.
Thank you.
Hi, Lauren. Well,
Hi. Thank you.
glad you're with us.
Me too.
Oops, I forgot to do share. Yeah, no. This too hard to see. Folks at home, let me know. Is this okay?
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. It's hard to tell. There's a glass object, I think, in the middle, and there are vines that seem to be wrapped around it. It's it's like a huge glass bowl filled with water.
Her reflections are exquisite.
Yes, and you want to look up another artist, a modern contemporary artist named Janet Fish as well. If you love reflections, she's somebody else you want to look up.
How do you
Janet
spell the last name?
Fish, Fish.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I will be back. People at home momentarily. I'm going to start by checking out what people here are doing first. So look at the relationship of shapes. For example, notice how the potato, Judy, see how the potato overlaps the shape of the picture and the sugar bowl. Okay. The lighting today seems dramatic. Not sure why. Oh, no, this is the one. Because I'm on YouTube. Spots won't be till January. Hard to believe. Oh, I want to recommend a show in New York City, and it's closing soon. It's at the Asia Society. It's Australian Aboriginal art. It's extraordinary work. Go if you can. The Asia Society is in 70th and Park Avenue in New York City. And they have senior citizen entry. But he qualified for that.
What is the name of the, gallery?
It's the Asia Society. The name of the show is Madayin, Madayin. Closing date is might be January 5th. And Madayin is spelled Madayin. 8 decades of Aboriginal Australian bark from Yirrkala, which is where I lived for 3 years. I was so lucky. Anyhow, of course, I'm lucky I was. I left. Folks at home, I'm recommending a show in New York that closes on January 5th. It is a show of Aboriginal bark painting, Australian Aboriginal bark painting at the Asia Society, which is located at 70th and Park Avenue. And it's 8 decades of Australian Aboriginal bark painting.
A friend of mine used to work there.
Lucky person. What a nice space.
Yeah, she ran the store.
She ran the store. Yeah, it's a nice little gift shop. Yeah, when I'm sharing like this, I don't always have my chat available. Sorry about that. I'll put it in the chat later. I mean, I have seen a lot of shows in New York in my lifetime, but this particular show just really blew me away. Aboriginal people are so generous in sharing this work. I mean, up until now, it's been pretty sacred and private kind of imagery. And a lot of the truly sacred stuff they're still not showing, but to make any of it available to people not in their language groups and clans is pretty amazing. It's so beautiful too. It's extraordinarily beautiful work. Grind their own pigments in soft black. They make their own brushes from animal hair and leaves. Don't draw too much. Unless you're just doing a drawing. That's if you're a scientist, it's about experimentation. Nothing's right for more than I said that. Experimental. We would encourage them to do a lot of drawing in the experiment. Students, doctors, so on. Yes. Arts. Go back in. You see the light. You see the swirls. So you can take that in and get more light. You try and capture that light. If you just want to do a pencil sketch, that's fine with me. Practicing your drawing skills is always a plus as far as I'm concerned. Folks at home, you're happy? You are happy campers?
It's a tall order.
I think doing still life is such, and I've said this many times, it's such a meditative process.
Mm.
You can get really absorbed, and each object is its own little world. And when I look at these Flemish still life painters, I'm always wondering how long did it take them to create one of these? They had to mix their own paints, grind their own pigments. I mean, many of them had assistants to do that work for them. I don't know if she ever reached that category.
I find it so fascinating that paints actually originated from ground up jewels at one point, which,
And shells and
yeah, so beautiful. It adds to the richness, of course, but I don't know, the history behind art is just so fascinating.
from egg, egg tempera, the base of which is eggs.
Oh, that's right. The yolk, right?
I'm thrilled to see here today so many people are starting to use color theory in their mixing. They're remembering that the three primary colors, when you mix them with their secondary opposites, what we call the complementary colors, create really beautiful, rich, natural colors. So when you're doing flower colors or vegetable or fruit colors, you can get close to natural color. Red with green, orange with blue, yellow with violet. Color mixing is fun. It's just playing. It's experimenting. It's like playing with mud. If you like baking, it's like mixing, experimenting with different doughs, seeing what works. Or if you're a bread maker, how much yeast will make the dough rise the best? How little yeast do you need to make the dough? How long do you leave it warming to make the yeast rise? It's all that kind of experimentation. It's the same in color. This is beautiful. If you did the large shapes first, it would be so much easier. It's always everyone, if you do the large shapes first, when you're starting to work with the color, it's easier. Those of you in the Tuesday class, Susie, you might have missed this. We do have another class at the multi-center on December 31st. I thought yesterday was our last class for December. But we have one more class on December 31st. Okay? Okay. And 24th? The 24th, no. So Christmas Eve, no class. But the last day of the year, yes, we have. But doesn't make sense. But it's true. Right. Very right.
That was shocking. Push the button, I'll come and look. Walgreens is better than CVS. Yeah. Well, the reason. Yeah, I know, yeah. Again, we feel. Did you learn to shake sweaters? It's hard.
And go further, I mean, maybe get a hold of it. That's really one thing.
Found it out there.
I got it. Very good,
You know, there is a blue flag. That's that, you don't like it, you don't have to use it. But I do love it. I complicated, it's your purple day. I have read that purple is the most creative color. Who decided that? But love the texture. I would suggest though that close to the edge of this, excuse me, you make this color flat and solid. And you use a bigger brush and smooth it out near the edge of the vase. But I like the fact that it's messy as you go further out. Okay? So here's black that we showed. Mhm. You wanted to do this. Maybe the bigger. I like the green in this paint stuff because it's very blue. It's called phthalo green. I don't know why they do it. Like, well, that, yeah, I like the having a little bit more red. So, was coming today. I wanted to see if she was getting food.
How are my students at home? Are we good? Yay. Thank you, Robin, for the wave. Oh, it looks like Susan had to leave. Too bad. Something about Clara Peters still makes me hungry. What about everybody else? And I don't know if you heard my advice to people here earlier. It's always easier to do your large shapes first, particularly if you're working with watercolors. Um, and then if you're working on very white highlights, you want to leave them till the very end. Do your darker areas first. The light highlights do at the end.
step. Yeah, that's like you want to test it out on the tape for each color that you use. See how it looks on the plain paper. Okay? So, that's like yeah, after a while you want to good. Good. The flame a little bit. Hard for me to start to see the machine. This finish, it's like battery. By the way, you want me to lower. Dark paint. Fire paint. We'll wash it off. And this is one. It's good to do the large shapes first. And then you won't worry about smudging. So next time, do the big thing first. Just it. Because this is so beautiful.
And it's a shame that you have to worry about messing it up. Okay, but it's beautiful. You learn through experience, right? Always good to do the large shapes first. So are we supposed to get snow tonight or what? The report? Rain, okay. I heard rain, sleet, snow, everything all mixed together.
Yeah, it's good. My mom. A lot of bingo people. They bring that little bunch of town with them, down to the front of the day. It's a good one. And the little code. If they think like that, they're doing good luck trying to roll on the line. But I'll tell you, at Foxwood, they have the bingoes, the jackpots.
That explains. But the thing is, there's no competition until the same things, because everyone gets the same numbers. Or the choice of cards.
Like that.
But all-
Also the aspect of socialization, being with friends. Oh, and they have a vendor that goes like free coffee, free soda. It's a nice thing.
Always feel nice.
I just remember I went to one art class last summer, and then I went next week and there was a bunch of like signs with no saving seats for bingo, and it was plastered
Yeah.
all around. And something must have happened at bingo class.
Well, what happens
They're
is,
nasty. And I think
They
the line.
still are, they're still, they're
what
fighting.
happens is people go in, they save a seat for their friend, somebody comes in, wants to sit there. Oh no, my friend's coming, I told him. So, and what happened is the person never showed up. So they,
You don't know, but in 1500s, bingo was created by the Italians.
I didn't know, I was wondering about this.
1500s, bingo was created by the Italians. You know where
Wow,
salad
salad dressing was invented.
Caesar.
There's a salad dressing.
No, Las Vegas. No, across the,
That's one
across
of
the
the
border in Mexico on Tijuana. Yeah, there's a restaurant called Caesar's Restaurant. There's there. Caesar salad.
Okay, I got everybody unfocused now. Back to your art.
Yeah.
I like the job. Let's see if I get some. I'm not sure. And I do like the line quality to it, so you don't get that anywhere else. So.
And they kind of
before you
Yeah.
wet, I think you might want to add those kind of lines somewhere else. Maybe down here. Somewhere. Well, I'll say that. Downstairs, it's always a good idea to talk to the work. And that. Way more objective than that. You get some kind of distance, whether it's fine versus. No. Speech that. It's hard. I want to be her when I grow up. Be careful. My 94-year-old friend is very tired. Her mind is. Oh, she got that hard. Yeah, and I'm so thrilled about how your personality shows through in the work. We're all painting the same still life. We're drawing the same still life. Each of you, your image is so much you. It's just thrilling to me. Folks at home, I don't know if you heard what I just said to people here, but everyone here is looking at the same still life, and yet their personality shows through in their work. You cannot escape yourself. It's true in art, it's true in athletics, it's true in academics. It's the beauty of the human animal.
excuse me. Um, I find it really fascinating how what you cannot verbalize with words, you can verbalize through art. So
Yeah.
you communicate no matter what.
Through visual arts, through dance, through instrumental music, through singing, through movement. And I don't know, is it the soul? Is it the creative juice? It always shines through. Always.
No.
And for an art teacher, it's just a privilege to see that. For me, it's why you should value yourself.
That's the most important thing of all.
Yes,
That's the most important thing of all.
yes. As the wonderful Nikki Giovanni, who just passed away, said, you've got to love yourself. And then you
Trust
can,
yourself.
yes, and then you can love others and do good in the world. And there are days when it's harder than others. But my friend Spike says about me, Liz, there's always the but with you. There's always the qualifier. But it's true. We've got to recognize our own worth, our own unique specialness. It takes a while to figure it out, but art is one of the ways we can do that. Oh, I think I'm not done. We'll try to move. Just choose a couple of things in the still life that we like. Don't do the whole thing. Stick on it, right? Take what you learned here and try and put it into the sun. Clouds, you can enlarge them on the page. Not the whole thing, just part, right? One have to get up. So I want you to do some flowers, but really this. Just do the flowers, okay? You can draw them first. Just find this one. To find some petals like you're doing.
Anyone who wants to take flowers at the end of class, you can take any that you want. You don't take them today, I'm sure you right. I like the outline. Not a lot, you want it to be. Oh, not yet, when you leave, Susie, not yet, people are still working on this. You have to, no, only if you're leaving at the end, and you can't take my potatoes and onions. I said flowers.
Potato, you're giving away.
I said flowers. I love you, Susie, but not the potato. So fun. Eat the potatoes to make dinner.
Just look at it.
Okay. I know you were. I'm teasing you. More than welcome to the flowers if you stay till the end.
But don't take the potato.
I get that home, that was the potato I went 2 days ago.
Close the fire heaters, you can light. You can get you water. It's a wash. But
That was. No, stop. Sure.
she's saying, what's it called? my opinion. A lot of them. Um, but even 19. Beautiful. Hang it up. Yeah. And what I would like you to participate. You should go modern, contemporary, and black or started to lose the shell. So this is why you're in the spot. And you see the definition. This is contrary. Yeah, they're very warm colors. So folks at home, if you want to share, we have 3 minutes remaining until cleanup sharing time. Folks here, 3 minutes left. Yako, the colors are great. Two minutes left now till cleanup sharing. We had a nice long session, creative session today. We're getting very experienced with color mixing. I'm proud of the progress that I see folks making. People here are already starting to clean up. You don't have to. You have 1 minute left. So we will start our sharing with folks who are here today, and then folks at home, or maybe it is the other way around this week, actually. We're going to start with folks at home first for sharing, and then folks here can share. Susie, I would love it if you'd share your painting, although I see you've already destroyed it. Lauren, what is it? Just talk about it.
So I really wanted to dig into the textures that she portrays. And one of the paintings you showed had the wine and cheese. So I kind of blew that up.
Okay,
And
I want to spotlight you.
I'm
Oh.
nowhere near finished,
Look at this, everyone.
but I just used colored pencil today. And I think I'm gonna bring this to canvas with acrylic this week.
Awesome. I like the texture effect that you did on the cheese.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. The detail really makes that work.
I appreciate that.
Wonderful.
Excuse me.
I don't know. Oh, I am going to see you, Heather. So, wonderful work.
Thank you.
Keep working on the drawing. I would love it if the background got darker.
Definitely.
You could emphasize the shapes in the front.
I'm thinking like a really, really dark green.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. All right, go for it. Send me a JPEG, please, when you're done.
I will.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing and
Thank
welcome
you.
back.
Oh, thank you. And happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
All right, Robin, you're next. Do you want to share?
Sure. I'm not, this is a still life that I made up in my own house.
Nice. Lovely.
I didn't have time to get the right colors for the,
Oh, how wonderful. Background. That's the only thing I want to say as advice. You need some kind of color in the background, but
yeah.
the image itself is perfect.
Can you see it? Because there's something in the
Yes.
middle of mine.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Really well done. Am I right? Yeah. It's really beautiful. The colors, the form, very nice. But
Thank you.
you need something in the background because all the empty white space is preventing us from really focusing on the fruit.
Or I got to tell you, to get a painting drawn, painted in this short amount of time, it's a real test. It's a real test, but thank you. I will work on the background. Appreciate your comments.
Send me the JPEG when it's done.
Okie doke, will do.
All right, so that kind of ends it for folks at home. I guess people had it's holiday season, they had to rush off. So people here who want to share. Let's start on Tamara's side. Come up and share your picture, Tamara, if you'd like. So Tamara is going to share her work. Let's give her our attention, please. She really focused on the shell for most of this class. Oh, you just added the apple and the potato.
It is
Or the onion, sorry.
look like, but
That's beautiful.
Well done, Tamara. Very realistic, right? Well done. I wish we had more time. This is kind of class where I wish we could work through the afternoon. They love it. Susie, are we going to share that painting? Because it's really very nice. Yeah.
Not Susie. Susie.
Now, I never force anyone to share. She's ready, she will. You want to share? I'm almost done, but I'll share. Sometimes it's really good to show unfinished work because you can get ideas. Just watch the light. Shh. It's really, really well done. Notice.
how vibrant, beautiful.
Excellent, excellent job. Thank you. Please send me a JPEG when it's done. John, are you going to share?
Yes.
So John is coming up to show his work. Everybody's working very hard today.
This is just a work in progress.
That's
Lynn.
fine. Up a little higher. Love his colors. Really great. Any idea what you're going to do with the background, John?
Not yet,
Okay.
but I know that's important because you always stress that to me. John Gray painting, where's the background?
I love your treatment on the highlights and shadows on the vase.
Yeah, I
There's
saw
a
that.
lot of motion and activity in that. I like that. All right.
I feel like a wash, or that's in front of a window for some reason. It's probably the vibrant colors, but beautiful.
Yeah, I saw these reflections of the lights in the vase. So that's where I got that from. Then I'm gonna take all this over here and pull the stems down.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
You are.
Lindsay. Wait till you see Lindsay's colors. Fabulous.
Oh, wow.
Aren't they warm and wonderful?
Warm is exactly the word I was thinking. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
Thanks for sharing, Lindsay. So Lindsay's getting very adventurous and courageous is the word I would say in her color mixing techniques. Eileen, you don't want to share? You did a great drawing. Okay, next time. Here is Yako did with soft pastel. Look at these colors. Yeah, that's
Oh, goodness. And with
Wonderful.
soft pastels, that is wonderful.
I love the dark background and her use of highlights. Really exquisite. I like the little white dots for the baby's breath flowers. It really makes the picture come alive. And Judy, come on up. See how everyone's approach is so different. It's
Oh, I love this.
This is also soft pastel. Isn't it lovely?
Beautiful. And that light blue really makes it pop.
The
Feels like
light
a summer day.
does make it pop. All right. Well, thank you for sharing, everyone. We here now have to clean up. I didn't put in the chat. I want to recommend this show at the Asia Society. I'm going to put that in the chat now. Asia Society. And the show is called Medellin. 8 decades of Australian Aboriginal bark painting. Go if you can. It closes January 5th. And with that, I'm going to say happy holidays to everyone. I will see you all next year. We will do way more art starting on, I believe the first class is January 8th. So good luck to everyone. Party, party, party.
Happy holidays for sure. Thank you for everything.
Oh, you are so welcome,
so much.
Ramesh. It's
Happy
been
holidays.
a pleasure teaching you. Makes my